Hello, neighbor. Thank you for joining me tonight at Creating in My Corner. I'm Alicia Dolan. Thank you for joining me tonight. Sorry about that. Stampin' Up! Independent Demonstrator, and I am so glad that you're here with me for Stampin' Sunday. Tonight, I'm going to do another card making video, and I'm going to show you the card first because I made one earlier, and I'm going to make a second card that's similar. So let me get the one. And it looks like this. So it opens up this way and like that. So I've been asked to make some cards that would be good for kids or teens. And I asked my kids which stamp set was their favorite. And this is the one that they told me they like the most. So their favorites change all the time, just like our favorites change. But this is the one we're going to use tonight. And I think it's because of this little dog right here. They love little dogs. They love little corgis. They really want one. So if we ever get another dog, I know they'll be desperate for that. But I am going to turn the camera around and get started. I've been thinking about making some changes to our Stampin' Sunday videos. So one of the things I've been thinking about is maybe once a month offering the supplies that we use in the card on Sunday, where you could order them and I would ship them to you. Now, it wouldn't include the stamp set or the ink or specialty products, but I would cut all the cardstock and emboss if there's embossing, and die cut if there's die cutting. So if you'd be interested in that, would you comment down below and let me know? Otherwise, it's a lot of work to cut and emboss and get everything ready. But if you guys are interested in that, then I would be happy to do that for you. I just, if it's only one or two people, it'll still be worth it. Just let me know. I'm going to turn that camera around. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. And let's see, it looks like I need to adjust my camera just a little bit. I apologize because I'm sure that makes quite a noise. All right, hold on one moment and we will get started. So there are two things I need to do before we get started. And I think it has to do with this piece here and this piece here. Well, let's use, I'm actually going to switch and I'm going to use this one this time so that we have two that are completely different colors. All right, so let's do this. And I know for sure that we need to make some adjustments to our measurements as we go, but we will get that taken care of in just a couple minutes. All right, so our first piece of cardstock here is Calypso Coral, and that measures 4 1/4 by 11. And we're going to score that at 5 1/2. So I'm going to put that right here in my trimmer. Now the Stampin' Up! Trimmer also has a scoring blade. So that's why I am using my trimmer for this. So we're going to put it right here at the 5.5 mark. And I'm going to score the card there. And then we're going to fold this one in half. I had a meeting this afternoon and I just got home. So that's why my supplies are a little out of reach and everything's a little out of sorts. But I do not want to miss Stampin' Sunday. I love my time here with you. All right, so there is the front of our card. And then we're going to take and we're going to cut it at 2 3/4. So that is right here. Oops. All right, let me measure that again. 2 3/4. And we're going to cut it right there. Okay, so this is our first piece. Let's see. And this one we need to trim. Let's see, we need it to be just a quarter smaller. So we're going to trim that one. And it's going to measure, let's see, 2.5. 2.5 by 4. Okay. And you know what? I think I would prefer this one. Okay, so here we go again. We're going to cut this one at 2.5. So this designer series paper is 2 by 4. And this is from the pack that is called, I just got this one. I was really excited about it. It's called Happy Forest Friends, and it was so cute. So there's actually a stamp set that matches along with this paper too. And we could use this side or this side. And I think this is the one I'm going to use this time. But I do really like that side as well. All right, so here we go. We're going to add some glue on here. And when we add our glue, I'm using the liquid glue. It's Tombow liquid glue. And I'm just going to get it started. And then I'm going to do a really thin line around the edges and a little squiggle in the middle. Now, this glue is very sticky. And it's a wet glue. And so it will ooze out if you are not careful with it. But because it's wet, it gives you a minute to adjust. If you don't get your paper right in the center, you have just a minute, not a whole minute, probably a few seconds to scoot it around so that it hits the edges. All right, just like that. Okay, so there is our bottom piece. And now this piece measures 3.5 by 8, and we're going to cut it so that it's 3.25 by 8. And then we're going to score this piece at the half mark. So we're going to score it right at 4 and fold it. If any of you watching are on Michelle's team, she actually, oh, I didn't do that right. It was supposed to be 4.25. So I'm going to do it again. 4.25. And I think it'll be all right, even though now I have to finagle it just a little bit to get it to the right spot. Okay, and we'll put that part on the front. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is add some more glue. Just like this. And you guys, a lot of the time I do my stamping first, but tonight I am not. And then we're gonna center this kind of in the middle. And place it down. I hope you all can hear me tonight. I don't see any comments yet, so I'm assuming all is well. If it's not, well, I guess if it's not and you can't hear me, I can't ask you to comment because you can't hear me. But hopefully you can, and everything is good. Okay, so here's what we've got for our card so far. And I've got 2 pieces of basic white, and these both measure 2 by 4. Okay, so I've got 2 pieces of basic white that are 2 by 4. And I'm gonna get my little scrap of paper here and my Stampin' Pierce mat, and that's what I'm gonna stamp on tonight. And I am gonna stamp this little guy right here. So we are gonna put him kind of at the top of our paper here. And I'm gonna grab my Tuxedo Black Memento ink, which is right behind me. And I'm gonna use, let's see, this is block E tonight. So that's kind of a larger block. Stamping this fella. All right. Well, here's our ink, and we just want to tap, tap, tap it on the stamp. Now, it doesn't matter if you tap the ink on the stamp or tap the stamp on the ink. You can do that either way. That's totally up to you. Okay, and then we're going to turn it over, line them up, and we're going to set it down gently on our paper, and then we're going to press in the middle. And we're not pressing hard, we're just pressing with a nice firm pressure. And that'll give us, that's what I found gives me the nicest image when I'm stamping. There are different kinds of stamps. There's photopolymer and rubber stamps. What we are using tonight is a rubber stamp. And so it's not always, you do not have to use the Stampin' Pierce mat with your rubber stamps. I just find that I like it better. I like to always either have my Stampin' Pierce mat or the foam mat out of my Stamparatus to stamp on. Okay, so then we can put him away, and we're going to do most of our stamping now. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp this I'm Blown Away by You. That's my next thing. And I am going to stamp that in, what am I going to stamp it in? I think I'm going to stamp it in Calypso Coral. And I have some basic white over here, some scraps I'm just going to stamp on. I think that looks like a good size piece right there. And I don't see any comments tonight, so if you're watching and you are willing to comment, that would be really good, just so that I know you can at least see and hear me. If you're shy and you don't want to comment, that's okay too. All right, and I'm gonna stamp in Calypso Coral just because sometimes I can see the little eye pops up, so then I know people are watching, or at least I assume that they are, but I don't know for sure unless you comment that you can hear me and that all is well. All right, and I'm gonna stamp right here, kind of in the corner of my scrap. Okay, so there are two of my little stamped images. And then I'm gonna stamp one more. And this is gonna go on the inside of the card. And let's see. I moved my table back a little bit away from the light, and I hope there aren't too many shadows. I'm not sure. I keep arranging and rearranging because I want the light to be good. I want people to be able to see what's going on. And I don't know if you can or not. Right, I'm going to grab two more smaller blocks because I like to have a block that's a little bit smaller when I'm using a smaller image. So I've got H here that I'm going to use for some words. And I've got C that I'm going to use for these little sprinkles. Okay, and this is what the sprinkles look like, just in case you can't see them up close. They're kind of like little squares and circles. They remind me of confetti, so I think they're really cute. Hi, Kim. I'm glad to see you. I wasn't sure you'd be feeling up to watching videos tonight. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so then we're going to tap our sprinkles in our Calypso Coral. And I am just going to stamp them kind of all over our inside piece here. You're late, but here, that's okay. I was almost late too. I was at the All-Star meeting today, and it took me a little longer to finish my cards than it usually does. And I finished all but one. I have only one I have to put together at home. I can be a really slow stamper sometimes. A lot of the times, I should say. I'm not a fast stamper. And I'm always trying to put things away while I stamp. So sometimes I have to get them back out and put them away again. Anyway, I am glad you're here. Okay. And then here is my Glad We're Friends sentiment. And I am going to stamp that in black. I noticed earlier when I stamped it that my stamp is a little bit crooked. So what I'm going to do, what am I going to do? I'm going to grab some grid paper, and I am going to line up my stamp. Let's see. I'm going to put my block on there. Can you, oh, I think you can't see around my head. Okay, I got to move the top of my head out of the way. All right, I've got my block on there. And then what I'm going to do so that my stamp is straight, I line my block up so that the edge lines up with one of the lines on my grid paper. And then I'm going to line up my words on the grid paper as well. So that when I stamp, if the line of my block goes straight across my card, then hopefully my words will go straight. And we'll see in a minute here if it works out. I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting my head in the shots a little bit tonight. Sometimes it goes how it goes, right? Okay, so I'm going to pull this towards me and make sure that that is lined up the way I want it to be. Hopefully right along those grid lines. And I found that with some of the stamps, especially if my edge of the stamp is rounded or if it's a little bit wavy, it makes it harder for me to line it up. And this is a better way for me to do it. Okay. So then I need my Memento ink. I feel like there are a lot of lights shining down on here. And I'm going to try to eliminate some shadows. Hopefully that helps a little bit. All right, so I'm going to tap my ink on my stamp. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you tap ink on your stamp or your stamp on the ink. Either way, you just want to tap. Okay, and then we're going to line up our block so that the top is fairly square along the edge. And then hopefully that means our words will be straight. We shall see in a moment. Okay, and then we're going to stamp them down, tap in the center. And it looks like I put a little too much ink in there, but it's fairly straight, so that's not bad. We're going to go with that. Okay, and then this one we're going to add to the inside. So we need our liquid glue. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. So we're going to put a thin line around the edge, not too close to the edge, because we don't want it to squish out. And then we're going to put a squiggle in the middle. And we can turn that. And we're going to center it over here on the inside of our card. Okay, so there's one. Okay, and then this part's going to fold up. This part's going to fold down. So next we're going to take our little corgi and we're going to color him in. And I've got, let's see. Let's make him brown maybe. Brown would be cute. What do I have? These are crumb cake blends, Stampin' blends, and I have this one, a bronze Stampin' blend, and then let's see, I don't have any pink. Oh, yep, I do have a little pink. We'll use some petal pink for his ears, and then we'll have to do something different for his tongue. Okay, so we're going to use a little combination of tools tonight. Okay, so let's color him first. We're going to start, I like to start with my lighter colors. So here's our petal pink, and I'm just going to put that in his ears. And that's super cute. Then we can use the light crumb cake. I hope you guys are doing well tonight. I thought this was such a fun stamp set. It isn't one that I would generally choose, but when the kids picked it, I thought, you know what? That is a great, it really is great. So, as I was trying to think of some good cards for kids or teens, I thought most young kids, at least the ones who are in my neighborhood and around me, they really seem to like dogs, animals, really of any sort. Okay, so there is our light crumb cake. And then we'll go back with the dark crumb cake and we'll add in just a little bit of detail, color in his little eyebrows, and we'll add a little bit of shading. So wherever we think there might be a little bit darker colors, here we'll do some shadows. Okay, a little bit over here by his cheek. I find that if you don't really know a lot about shading, if you just go along some of the lines that they put in there for you, that's that's a good start. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I like to go back with the light one and just go a little bit close to those edges. And it kind of blends it in a little bit more. I'm not a professional colorer by any means. In fact, I think I shared before that I went to an art class in high school. I was in art and I didn't do very well. I had a really hard time finishing my projects on time. So there's another hint at about, you know, I'm not a fast worker. I like what I like, and it can be a little tricky when you feel that way. Okay, so I didn't even use that dark bronze, but I like my little dog the way he is, so I'm going to stop there with that. And then, like I said, I need a little something for his tongue. So I have over here Melon Mambo Stampin' Right marker. Oh, I think it should be red. I don't think its tongue should be pink. Let me see. I have. Here we go. Here's a real red. Let's go with that. And I'm going to use the small end because I'm a little nervous about coloring it in. I want to make sure I'm staying in the lines, and that sometimes I have a little bit of trouble with that marker end. There we go. There's his little red tongue. I think that's super cute. And then I'm going to take my basic gray and I'm going to go along the edges of my fan. So I'm just going to kind of go along the lines there. Because I don't want it to be really dark. I just want to have some color. And you'll see that on my other one, I actually used my ink and my blender pen instead of using markers. Mostly because I struggle to get the markers to look exactly like I want them to. Sometimes a little bit with the blends too, but they're much easier to mix than than the markers are. Okay, so there is that. I think he's cute. Okay, and then we're gonna cut this out. We're gonna fussy cut it. So I've got my pair of scissors and I'm just gonna go around my words. Now this doesn't have to be perfect. And I found what works for me is turning my paper, not turning my scissors. And I know that I've heard other people say that too. I cannot remember for the life of me what all of the reasoning is for that, but I know that I get a smoother cut if I turn my paper and not my scissors, and I'm not as likely to jab myself when I'm turning the corners. And it's important to try to avoid injuries while you're crafting. Okay, so there is that. And we're ready to put this little bag together. So what we're going to do is turn our stamp image over. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back. Now, if you are signed up for my email list, you will get directions to make this card in your email this week. But like I said at the beginning, I am going to start offering kits to make the cards. So it wouldn't include the stamps or the ink, but it would be all of the paper and the embellishments. And I would probably, maybe I'll do 3 cards. So say you wanted to make 3 of these birthday cards, or three of any card that I do on a Sunday, and send them out to different people. All you would have to order yourself were the stamps and ink. And then you can use whatever supplies you have, obviously, to make them. Okay, and where are my Stampin' Dimensionals? Right here. So on the back of our little sentiment, I'm going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals, but I want it to go right down here in the corner. So I'm only going to put my dimensionals up here on this side. And maybe I just only need one. I'll just put one on there. And I'm going to put that right there. And then we'll take some of this ribbon, and I'm actually going to tie it around because this card keeps kind of popping up. Let's do something different. Now, when I tie a bow, I turn my project, whatever project I'm working on, upside down. And I couldn't tell you exactly why, but I found that this is the best way for me to tie a bow. Okay, so I'm going to take this left and I'm going to cross it over the right, and I'm just going to move this over here because otherwise it's going to be in the way. All right, and then I'll pull that through. I'm going to hold it and pull up a loop on the left. And then I'm going to take the ribbon on the right and I'm going to go around from the back. And I'm going to push it through that way. Now I've let loose of my ribbon a little bit. I always struggle with this, but that is the way I found that I can tie the best bow. And then I can adjust it a little bit because I didn't pull it super tight. I can adjust it. And it looks like one of my strings is going up, but that's all right. At least my bows are going the right direction. And you can kind of fiddle with it a little bit until it goes the way you want it to go. But if you struggle to tie a bow, then I would suggest trying that. If you try it upside down, then and let me know if that works for you or if it doesn't. I've had people say, some people say it works and some people say it didn't help them. It didn't help them at all. So I don't know if it will be helpful to you or not. And I'm actually going to move it over to this side because I feel like it's too much in the way on that other side. Okay, and then we can trim our ends. Thank you, Kim. I really like it. I love this little corgi, and I'm sure I'm going to be doing more with it. In fact, I think I'm going to include it in my card class for this month. Not this card, of course, because this one I've already showed you, but I will I'll make another card using it. So then when you go to open the card, you'll have to untie the bow, and I don't really want to do that. So I'm just going to slide it off the end because I just got my bow nice and cute, right? And then you can open it up just like that, and your card is ready to go. Let's see if I can get this back on here. I think I twisted it a little bit. I really didn't want to have to tie another bow. Okay, here it goes. Then I just have to tuck this one in and slide it down. All right, isn't that cute? Okay, so there is our card for tonight for Stampin' Sunday. If you are signed up for my email, like I said earlier, you will get all the measurements to make this card, and I'll include the names of the paper and everything else. But I think those are really cute. In fact, I'll give you the colors of both if you want. This one, I did not tie the bow all the way around the card. I just tied it around the front. So you can tie it just around the front. You could tie it around this bottom part or around the whole card. That's totally up to you. And then for my card class this month, I wanted to show you guys, I've got 3 of the 4 cards ready. So this is the first one. And when you open it up, there's a little deer on the inside. I totally forgot that I didn't attach the sentiment to the next one yet. So pretend this is already attached. But here is the second card. So that one is really cute. And then the third one, I used the same paper, but I used a different stamp set. The stamp set from, it's a journal kit. It's very cute. But that's the third one. So I wanted one that could be for anyone and I thought this would be really cute for teenagers, maybe a teenage girl that you just want to share some encouragement with. But I thought that was really cute. So those are 3 of the 4 cards. And then the last one will feature this stamp set, but I haven't finished quite designing that one yet. So that will be on its way soon. I hope that you've enjoyed tonight's video and that you're having a great week. And Kim, I hope you feel better and that Ron feels better. I know it's no fun to be sick. So have a great week, everyone. I will be emailing you out hopefully by Wednesday. I'll see you all next Sunday. Happy stamping.